name's Carrie Richey, and I am from Bellefonte.
My name is Catherine Richey, and I am also from Bellefonte.
I'm Connor Richey, and I am also from Bellefonte.
Paul was first and foremost a father, a husband, a son. He was fun. He was a really fun guy, and even though he had the state trooper persona, it was never something he brought home with him. He always put family first, and he was amazing.
He was amazing. He was the ultimate girl dad. Like I've said, I could paint his fingernails, put clips in his hair, and he just sat there and took it like a trooper.
Yeah, we used to play baseball out in the front yard, and occasionally we'd go inside and watch cartoons. I'd put them on, and I'd go do something else, and then I'd come back about an hour later and I'd still be watching cartoons in that chair.
I was at work when I found out, and it just kind of felt like our world was collapsing. We knew that things were changing forever, that it would never be the same. And just wanting to go and get to my kids, to be with them. And at some point we knew, trying to figure out how we were going to move forward, it was going to have to be something that we figured out together. So
Connor and I were at school when we didn't find out until later on, but I was in first grade and I got a call to go to the principal's office. Our grandfather picked us up and brought us to the house, and later more and more families started to show up, and we found out that Dad wasn't coming home.
Yeah. It was, when we got there, we were sectioned off to a side room. That's where my dad used to watch cartoons with me. And I just remember sitting down on that couch, and then just this herd of people came in right into that room. Just like our pastor, family members, friends, family friends, and it was just like a wave of emotion at that point that I can't really describe it that well, but it was
just knowing everything would be different.
Yeah, nothing was the same after it.
The state police was always family, you know, it was something that you just knew, but in that moment it changed a lot for us, knowing that we found comfort in being around them, in being with them. Our church community, our schools, the school that I was working at, the school that the kids attended, the people that were there, everyone just surrounded us with love and support.
My high school graduation, some troopers came and they were there for public support, but it was also really cool that they knew about me and reached out and made me feel very, very supported. It was a great experience.
I think the outpouring of love from everywhere was surprising. You know your family's going to be there, and I knew that the state police would be there for us, but it was more than that, more than our church, more than our family. It was schools across Pennsylvania sent cards to us. Churches from across the state were sending us, you know, baskets with movies in it for the kids and I to watch. And I think the one that really surprised me was I got a letter from a cadet in California who was, you know, going through the academy, and reached out just to let us know that he knew, and just wanted us to know that he was praying for us and supporting us too. So it was just that, it wasn't just Pennsylvania, it wasn't just our community, it was across the United States. It was overwhelming, and yet very comforting to know that so many people were praying for us and supporting us.
I know they used to, initially when we went to all these cops meetings and such and memorials, troopers would give you like a badge or something, you know, just like, hey, this is from here. So I started collecting them, And once word got out, I was getting badges from all over the United States, local agencies, state agencies, Alaskan agencies. I have a huge box just filled with badges now that I keep next to my bed, so it meant a lot.
I wouldn't say, there are a lot of little moments when you look back. There were a lot of little moments. I remember the first time we were sitting on the couch, it felt like from the time we found out for forever, all we did was cry. We just sat and we cried together. And one night we were sitting there and we weren't crying. And that was a moment where it was like, wow, this is kind of nice to be able to sit here and just not be so sad. But then we started to find joy, and when we were having those moments where we allowed ourselves to feel it, but then we would start to tell stories. And I would try to remember all the stories I possibly could about their dad and things that he did when he was a kid that he told me, and as a teenager and as an adult, and goofy sayings he had that would kind of pull us out of those really hard, sad moments, and continuing to feed on the positive that we had. And then when we're in those moments where we're not okay, that it's all right to not be okay. It's okay to visit those places. A very dear friend of mine said to me a few years ago, it's okay to visit, not okay, you just aren't allowed to live there. And just reminding myself of that.